Recently, I started a challenge with the goal of going from 0 to 7 figures in sales with a print-on-demand business in a matter of 12 months and no money to get started. And in this video, I'm going to be showing our dashboard from the first month of sales, so you can see exactly how much we made. I'm going to be breaking down our expenses. And if you're wondering what types of products we're selling, what they look like, what the site looks like, how do you optimize it, be sure to stick around to the end because I'm going to show you an exact replica of the site we're running down to the exact optimizations and types of products. So if that's something that interests you, be sure to like and hit the subscribe button so you can see all the future updates as they're coming out on our path to 7 figures in sales. And without further ado, let's jump into the numbers. If you remember from the first episode, we looked at the first week we did about $3,200 in sales. And that was at a roughly 3% conversion rate with a $38 average order value. Ideally, the average order value will be in the $50 to $60 range, and the conversion rate will hold steady around 3 to 4%. So let's take a look and see how things went in the second week. So in the second week, we increased our sales by about 58% to $5,100. Our conversion rate stayed steady and our average order value bumped up just a little bit. And the way that we were able to do this was honestly just by increasing the budgets of our ad campaigns on Facebook and Google. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to see a much more detailed breakdown on how I set up these ads, but they're honestly pretty simple, and it's been the least amount of work that I put into any area of this business. Moving on to the third week, we did $6,100 in sales, or up 18% from the week before. Now, the conversion rate was about 2.4%, but that's honestly just because we introduced international traffic, which is always going to have a slightly lower conversion rate than the US. And we were charging more for shipping for our international customers because we have higher shipping fees, so our average order value was about $46. And we'll just do the last 10 days of July. We did $17,224.83, and that was at a conversion rate of 2.25 and average order value of $48.94. Now you're probably saying, great, that's a big sales number, but how much of it was actually take-home profit at the end of the day? And that's a great question. So let's take a look at the P&L so you can see for yourself. So here's the P&L for the last 9 days of July, and as you can see, here are our total sales, $15,160. So we're just missing July 22nd, so I hadn't filled it in yet on the spreadsheet, but you can see that our Printify charge, aka our cost of goods sold, was about $6,000. Then we gave out about $300 in discounts and refunds because we have a policy of anytime anybody is unhappy with their order for any reason, we give them a full refund. And the reason we do that is that even though it costs us more in the short term, it helps build goodwill with our customers in the long term, because if somebody has a bad experience and then we shaft them, say like, sorry, go pound sand, that person then is going to become an anti-affiliate for us. They're going to tell all of their friends and family about how much they hate this company and to never shop with us. So we want to do the opposite, that turn every bad experience into a good one. That makes our total gross profit, which is our top line revenue minus our cost of sales, about $8,900. And then next we have our Shopify and PayPal fees, which these are the transaction fees that anytime we swipe somebody's credit card, basically, there's a fee associated with that. So that comes out to roughly 3% plus 30 cents per transaction. So in this case, it was $624. And onto our second biggest expense, which is our advertising. As you can see, our Facebook and Instagram advertising expense is by far the biggest. Comparatively, like Google, we are just using it for retargeting. That's because as of now, Google is just for retargeting. We're not really going out doing Google shopping campaigns or trying to find cold customers. We're basically just doing paid search to get back in front of the eyeballs of people who came to the site, search for us again, and are trying to find us. And we do that as a substitute for SEO, because SEO can take months and years to build up, and we don't have that yet. So we're just paying a couple bucks a day, and those campaigns typically run at anywhere from a 5 to an 8x return on our spend. Then our overhead expenses, we have about $25 per day. You can cut back on this a lot. Our biggest overhead expense right now is Klaviyo for our email marketing. We pay about $400 per month because of the size of the old list we had. So that's something that could definitely be cut back on. Other overhead expenses are our Shopify, Printify subscription, which is only $30 a month. You can see overhead as a percentage of revenue. That's an important metric to track, or anytime our overhead becomes greater than 3 to 4% of our revenue, it's not driving enough sales for it to be worth continuing to make that investment. So that's just a good indicator for us to cut back. So that brings us to a total operating income of $2,751.06, which you can see the margins down here. We had some days where it was a lot higher. We had other days where it dipped down. No days that were negative so far, which is really nice. And then the last line item for us to consider is our Capital One 2% cash back, which this is the credit card that we put everything on. That gives us an additional 2% rewards for every dollar spent. And this is not financial advice, but it's non-taxable income or post-tax income. So all of the dollars that you're earning there go directly into your pocket, whereas everything else you have to pay taxes on. So that brings us to a grand total for the last 9 days of the month to $3,200 in profit. And all in all, for July, it came in at around $7,000 in profit. We saw about $500 in profit for the first week, about $1,500 for the second week, about $2,000 in profit for the third week, and then here's the last week, about $3,000 in profit. And our goal is just to be doing 15% growth month over month. So to wrap this all up, we did about $32,000 in sales during July, and we're looking forward to the next month. And now, like I promised you at the beginning, I'm going to show you an example of what the store looks like that we're running, down to the products and how you can set them up yourself. And now, obviously, I can't show you the exact store because there would be a million replicas of it up by this afternoon. So I'm going to show you the next best thing, which is the exact same setup, exact same products and types of designs. So you can still get the lessons learned, and I don't have a million copycats to fight off. Here's an example of what the store looks like, called Vacay Threads, and it's in the vacation and outdoors niche. But as you can see, first of all, it's an extremely simple website, and the second thing is that we're only selling t-shirts, and the same is true for the brand I was just showing you the sales for. Third thing to note is that the designs are bright and colorful, and it grabs your attention as you're scrolling past them. And the fourth thing I'll point out that is not represented here is the quantity of products. This example store only has 5 because that's all that I felt like uploading, but our actual store has hundreds. In total, we're up to about 600 designs now in total, and we don't do that just because we like making designs. We do that because that's what's necessary in order to scale to the kind of sales that we were just looking at. So that was the collection page we were just looking at, and now let's take a look at the product page, which is extremely simple. Everything that you see on this page here is exactly how I would recommend setting it up, down to the pricing, to the color selection on the call to action buttons, to the bullet point product description, to the little icons around the drop downs. Then down towards the bottom, we have some cross sells or other recommendations, because a lot of people come to the site as just a browsing experience. They're not really sure what they're looking for. So Shopify is really good at giving recommendations of products that it thinks they'll like based off of your previous customers. All right, so now you have an idea of what the type of store is, what the products are, how it looks, and if you're curious about how to set that up exactly like that, then be sure to watch this video over here where I give you a 365-step checklist to set up that exact store, down to your Printify account, to Etsy, to Shopify. It's about an hour long, and it's the most in-depth training I've ever put together. So if this is the kind of thing you're interested in doing and getting the kind of results we were just looking at, then be sure to watch that video. As always, I'm here for you guys. If you have any questions or there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know in the comments section below. And I appreciate you all from watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.